pussies don't know though. You hear me? Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. But I do, nigga. I do, nigga. And y'all think I'm crazy. I'm the fool. Okay, watch how this shit pan out. And we gonna really see who really the fucking fool. And we really gonna see who really the fucking one. Pussy wipe that spit off your face, bitch. That boy in trouble.
NLE really popped out with a whole weak-ass diss aimed at NBA YoungBoy. Full dance routines, fake lookalikes, and straight up name calling while looking goofy as hell the whole time. But instead of giving this Tupac wannabe the full response he was clearly begging for, YoungBoy hit him with something way colder. He spit a couple mumble bars, tossed a light jab, and basically treated NLE like he wasn't even worth a real diss track. Imagine someone puts their whole chest into dissing you, and you respond with what sounds like throwaway bars. That's the ultimate "you're not on my level" move. But before we break down that response, we gotta run it back and see how this whole mess even started, cause this beef goes way deeper than folks realize. YoungBoy still slid with another response too, and yeah, it's exactly the type of energy you're thinking. This is a full idol turned rival situation that's been bubbling under the surface for years. Back in 2016, NBA YoungBoy was that young Baton Rouge demon who blew up off 38 Baby. At just 16, bro was already a certified star, the type of dude that had kids and upcoming rappers across the map looking up to him like he was a new blueprint. One of those kids was a 15-year-old from Memphis named Bryson Potts. Y'all know him as NLE, but back then Shorty was just a basketball player at Cordova High School who was freestyling with his friends and looking up to YoungBoy heavy. This is important to understand. NLE wasn't just influenced by YoungBoy, he was damn near trying to be him. The similarities were crazy from the jump. Both had similar rap names, NBA YoungBoy with his Never Broke Again brand and NLE with his No Love Entertainment, which he later changed to NLE. Both were young, both were from the South, and NLE even remixed YoungBoy's tracks early in his career. We're talking about Through the Rain, which was NLE's remix to YoungBoy's Through the Storm, and later he did his own version of Drawing Symbols. When NLE finally blew up with Shaflo in 2019, fans immediately started comparing them. People were saying NLE was trying to copy everything, the hairstyle, the energy, even the way he moved. And when interviewers asked NLE about his influences, he straight up said NBA YoungBoy was one of his favorites. In that Hip Hop DX interview, when they asked who influences his music, he said NBA YoungBoy, Meek Mill, and Lil Durk without hesitation. But here's where things get spicy. In March 2019, NLE was on Instagram Live, and his homies in the background started talking reckless about YoungBoy. They were saying YoungBoy wasn't a real killer, calling him names. NLE was trying to tell them to chill because he was live with like 2,000 people watching. You could hear them in the background saying stuff like, "Oh, folks think he a real killer or something," and calling YoungBoy out his name. Now YoungBoy caught wind of this and wasn't having it. Same day he hopped on his own live to respond, basically saying, "Ain't no killer who," and making it clear these dudes don't know what they're talking about and they're being disrespectful. That's when the internet started saying they were officially beefing. NLE tried to backtrack, going live while getting a haircut, telling everyone that YoungBoy was still his favorite rapper and he wanted to make a song with him. He kept saying, "YoungBoy, my favorite rapper, I'm trying to be with YoungBoy, he's my favorite rapper." But the damage was done. Like, YoungBoy felt disrespected, and when you disrespect someone who's already established and you're still coming up, that's a problem. Things got worse when NLE started linking up with YoungBoy's enemies. He made a song called Gangster Talk with Fredo Bang, who's been beefing with YoungBoy for years as part of that whole TBG versus NBA situation. On that track, NLE made what people thought were herpes references aimed at YoungBoy. And Fredo took shots at YoungBoy's deceased manager, Big Dumb. Then NLE started dating YoungBoy's ex-girlfriend, Young Blazion. The internet went crazy saying NLE wanted to be YoungBoy so bad he was even dating his exes. There was even that live where NLE played YoungBoy's Uncharted Love and Blazion got mad and ended the stream. That's when people really started clowning NLE for being a wannabe. But the real breaking point came in January 2022 when YoungBoy was going at King Von and Lil Durk. NLE decided to pick sides. Academics had tweeted NBA YoungBoy on Demon Time right now, and Lil Reese replied saying that ain't no demon time, he just rapping like the rest of these rappers. NLE chimed in saying I stamped that, basically siding with the Chicago crew against YoungBoy. That's when YoungBoy dropped I Know and Fam. That track was haunting. This wasn't just a disc, it was psychological warfare type beat. YoungBoy was talking about NLE's mom crying when she sees him in a coffin threatening his soul, the whole nine. The way he delivered those threats in that eerie singing tone, that was some next level intimidation. YoungBoy opened the track talking about how NLE's mom would be destroyed if he decided to kill him for choosing sides. He kept mentioning NLE's mom throughout because she's his manager and they're close. Then he referenced when NLE said, "YoungBoy, my favorite rapper," and told him to stay in his place or get his face split. The hook was the most chilling part. That's some horror movie type bars right there. YoungBoy also brought up how NLE was promoting healthy eating and herbs in 2020 and mentioned the young Blasian situation, basically saying NLE could have her. But the most devastating part was when he said like King Von, NLE would also bite the dust. That was a direct threat referencing Von's death. What people don't always understand is the regional aspect of this beef. You got Memphis versus Baton Rouge, two cities with completely different rap cultures. Memphis has always been known for that raw street sound. Think 36 Mafia, Yo Gotti, Moneybagg Yo. It's a city that's produced legends, but also has that gritty underground feel. Baton Rouge, on the other hand, has been dominated by YoungBoy's sound and influence. When YoungBoy blew up, he put his whole city on the map in a way that hadn't been done before. So when NLE representing Memphis started getting compared to YoungBoy, it became more than just individual beef. It was about city pride too. The fact that NLE was accused of copying YoungBoy's style probably stung extra because not Memphis has its own rich rap heritage. NLE should have been carrying that Memphis torch, but instead he was being called a Baton Rouge copycat. There's also the business side that people overlook. YoungBoy claimed on his track Top Version that he owns a percentage of United Masters, which is the same distributor NLE uses for his No Love Entertainment label. If that's true, that means YoungBoy potentially profits from NLE's success, which adds another layer of disrespect to the whole situation. Plus, when NLE started getting close with Lil Durk and the F Crew, he was essentially choosing a side in one of rap's biggest ongoing beefs. That's not just about music, that's about street politics, money, and power. YoungBoy saw that as a betrayal, especially since NLE used to claim he was his favorite rapper. Fast forward to now, and NLE finally decided to drop a full diss track. This dude went all out. We're talking choreographed dances, YoungBoy lookalikes, the whole production. NLE was really trying to make a statement, calling YoungBoy names and going at him hard, and he probably spent weeks planning this, got the whole team together and really put his all into it. But here's where it gets disrespectful in the most savage way possible. Instead of giving NLE the full response he was clearly fishing for, YoungBoy dropped Zero IQ freestyle with just a few bars aimed at him, and those bars, they were basically throwaway lines. In the track, YoungBoy said lines like, "You ain't really slime, you ain't really G, and he ain't never ran down on nothing for real." But the way he delivered it, like NLE, wasn't even worth his full attention. He mixed these bars in with other content, making it seem like dissing NLE was just a side note in his day. The title Zero IQ itself is probably a shot at NLE's intelligence, suggesting he doesn't have the brains to really compete. And when YoungBoy says, "Baby girl, I'm sorry I got a low IQ," he might be mocking NLE's attempt to get a reaction out of him. What's interesting about YoungBoy's response is the visual presentation. The video starts with raw, unfiltered footage, no color grading, just him in his natural state. But as the energy picks up, the visuals get more polished. It's like he's showing the progression from not caring to getting slightly more engaged but never fully invested. Compare that to NLE's full production diss track with all the bells and whistles, and YoungBoy's casual approach looks even more dismissive. It's like he shot this in one take and called it a day, while NLE probably spent days in the studio perfecting his disc. Now, how did NLE react to this? According to sources, he's been saying, "YoungBoy's in trouble and making threats." In one clip, you can hear him saying, "Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. Y'all don't know that boy in trouble, but I do, and y'all think I'm crazy. I'm the fool." Okay, watch how this pan out. But here's the thing, when you drop a full diss track and get back mumble bars, that's already an L. YoungBoy basically treated him like a minor inconvenience rather than a real threat. Choppa's reaction shows he's pressed about not getting the response he wanted. The fact that NLE is now making threats suggests he's frustrated. He was probably expecting YoungBoy to drop a full track, give him that attention, maybe even elevate the beef to another level. Instead, YoungBoy gave him the equivalent of a shoulder shrug and now NLE is trying to force a bigger reaction. This type of response is actually genius when you think about it. In rap beef, sometimes the biggest disrespect is acting like your opponent isn't worth your full effort. YoungBoy has been in major beefs with established artists like Lil Durk, King Von, Rest in Peace, and others. For him to give NLE just a few bars sends a clear message. You're not in that category. It's like when someone's trying to argue with you and you just give them one-word responses. That indifference hits harder than any insult could. YoungBoy is essentially saying, I'm not going to give you the full diss track you want because you don't deserve that level of attention from me. From a psychological standpoint, this response probably hurts NLE more than any bars could. He's been trying to prove he's on YoungBoy's level for years, and this response reinforces that he's not. It's the ultimate "you're still not worthy" moment. We also gotta understand where YoungBoy is in his career right now. This dude has been through legal troubles, house arrest, prison time, and major industry beefs. He's been battling with some of the biggest names in rap, dealing with federal cases, and trying to maintain his position as one of the top artists in the game. From his perspective, NLE is probably just another young rapper trying to use his name for clout. YoungBoy has seen this playbook before. Upcoming artists trying to beef with him to get attention and elevate their own careers by not fully engaging. He's refusing to play that game. Plus, YoungBoy's been focused on his family, his business, and staying out of trouble. Getting into a full-blown beef with NLE doesn't serve his interests. He's got bigger things to worry about than someone who's been riding his wave since day one. From a technical standpoint, YoungBoy's response was smart. He didn't give NLE quotable bars that could be used against him. He didn't provide ammunition for a back and forth. Instead, he gave just enough to acknowledge the diss without elevating NLE to his level. The bars he did drop were dismissive rather than aggressive. Instead of threatening NLE or going at him hard, he basically called him fake and irrelevant. That's more damaging to someone's reputation than any death threat could be. The fan reactions have been interesting to watch across social media platforms. YoungBoy fans are saying this was the perfect response. Dismissive and disrespectful without giving Choppa what he wanted. They're calling it a warning jab and saying NLE should move wisely. On Twitter and Instagram, you see YoungBoy fans posting laughing emojis and saying things like, "We really said who." The consensus among his fan base is that this was the ultimate power move, acknowledging the disc just enough to show he heard it, but not enough to give NLE the attention he craves. NLE fans, on the other hand, are probably disappointed. They wanted to see their guy get a full response, maybe even win a back and forth. Instead, they got what feels like YoungBoy brushing NLE off. Some are trying to spin it as YoungBoy being scared to fully engage, but that narrative doesn't really hold up when you look at YoungBoy's history of going at bigger names. So where does this leave things? NLE is probably going to have to decide if he wants to keep pushing or take the hint. If he drops another disc, he risks looking desperate for YoungBoy's attention. If he doesn't respond, it might look like he's backing down from his own threats. The smart move for NLE would probably be to take this as a learning experience and focus on his own career. He's got talent and success. He doesn't need to be in YoungBoy's shadow forever, but his ego might not let him walk away from this. YoungBoy, meanwhile, has made his position clear. He's not treating this as a serious beef, and he's not going to give NLE the platform he's looking for. That's actually the smartest move. Why elevate someone who's been trying to ride your wave since day one? This whole situation really highlights the difference between established artists and those still trying to make their mark. YoungBoy has nothing to prove. He's already cemented his place in rap history. His influence on the younger generation is undeniable. His streaming numbers are insane, and he survived legal troubles that would end most careers. NLE, despite his success with hits like Shot Flow and his platinum plaques, is still fighting for respect and recognition. The fact that he felt the need to diss YoungBoy in the first place shows he's still in YoungBoy's shadow, and YoungBoy's response, or lack thereof, reinforces that dynamic. This could actually be a defining moment for both artists. For YoungBoy, it shows his maturity and strategic thinking. For NLE, it's a reality check about where he stands in the rap hierarchy. At the end of the day, this might be one of the most disrespectful non-responses in rap beef history. YoungBoy basically said, "You're not worth my full attention." And that hits harder than any bars could. It's the kind of dismissal that probably stings more than any diss track ever could. NLE wanted a war, but YoungBoy gave him a dismissal. He wanted to be treated like an equal, but YoungBoy treated him like a minor annoyance. The fact that Choppa is now making threats and saying YoungBoy is in trouble just shows how frustrated he is by not getting the response he wanted. This whole situation is a masterclass in how to handle someone trying to use your name for clout. Instead of giving them what they want, you give them just enough to show you're not pressed, but not enough to elevate them to your level. That's some next level chess moves right there. What do y'all think? Was YoungBoy's response the perfect level of disrespect? Or should he have given NLE a full diss track? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.